explain how this kind of innovation is going to affect the market. And so today I'm going to provide to you some more information related to the user experience and the customer journey related to the adoption of eSIM, especially in the consumer market. So here we can see what is mainly changing from the traditional SIM process that was a linear process where the MNOs were buying a piece of plastic from the SIM vendors and then were putting on credentials and then distributing to the end user. And at the end of the life cycle, there was no replacement. But with the embedded SIM technology, there is a circle process where usually profiles can be uploaded dynamically during the life cycle of the product, and then can be substituted, and you can add as many subscriptions you want on the same piece of hardware. And today what we have done in Gsma, we have three different specifications today available. The first one is related to, and that was the original specification that was created at the beginning, that's the SGP 01 and 02. They are mainly devoted to the machine-to-machine applications. Then with the SGP 21 and 22, we were covering the consumer market, and now with the SGP 31 and 32, we are coming back to the IoT environment, where we discovered that the traditional machine-to-machine specification and architecture was probably not enough in order to satisfy all the requirements that the IoT environment has. And today, for the consumer market, we have deployed just a couple of months ago the SGP 21 version 3, that's the latest version. Now we are going to complete the SGP 22, that's the architectural and infrastructure support of the SGP 21 by September. So after that, probably we will be able to see the first products on the market by the first quarter of 2023, which are supporting the version 3 of the consumer specification. And let's just have a look at the main stakeholders who are involved in this process. And we can notice that as soon we are going just probably to cover all the different interests of the different stakeholders, probably we are going to discover that the main benefits are, as also mentioned by the previous speakers, are on the OEM manufacturer side, because they are going to minimize the dimension of the physical SIM in getting today in a chip component that's integrated in USB-C, for example. On the other side, they are going just to reduce all the logistic impacts related to the distribution and management of this physical hardware. And for the network operators, there is also a benefit that's derived from the reduction of cost of managing all this traditional stuff and trying to manage it in a full digital process where it's allowed. Because I'm coming back to this concept because as the previous speaker was showing you, unfortunately that's not possible to have a full digital process in some countries, and I will explain you in a while the reason for that. So the main benefits why we are introducing the eSIM were mainly related to machine-to-machine, and you can easily understand why it's important to replace a subscription in a metering device on a vehicle during the life cycle without coming back, calling back the vehicle and substituting a piece of hardware inside of that. Why? For the consumer, the attractiveness of eSIM is probably less than for these kind of markets like IoT and M2M. So today, we spend more than 10 years on these specifications, and the maturity level we have achieved. I don't want to come back to the figures, but then probably my friend Pablo from the Gsma is going to give deeply information about the adoption rate in the different countries. And it's important that today the majority of operators have been adopting this technology, have been implementing their own platforms to support the management of subscription remotely. And also the OEM community is providing products to be compliant with this technology. So we have a confluence of different factors to put together. On one side, we had to establish reliable specifications and also involving certification and also the accreditation of all the processes that are behind this technology. On the other side, the oil manufacturers were introducing this technology in their products, And finally, operators were endorsing platforms or were adopting platforms in order to manage all this process in a digital format. So what's going to happen in the from what's happening in the digital journey? There was a request understanding how the digital journey is changing, and so we are going to see, for example, for the IoT environment, if you want just to manage a subscription in a vehicle, you don't need to call back the vehicle. You can just download the profile, and you can enable it directly from remote, and you can switch from one operator to another operator in an easy way. That could be done also on localization basis. So if a vehicle is going to transfer from Italy to France, probably it's not necessary to use anymore an Italian subscription, but you want to refer to a local French subscription. So in this case, you can upload a new profile in the vehicle and provide a new local subscription directly from the local partner. So that's an example of the user journey in the IoT environment. But if you move to the business enterprise use case, you can see that if you want to distribute a SIM card or new subscription to, as soon as you are going to sign a contract with a B2B relationship, you need to distribute SIM cards to all the employees. So in this case, you probably are going to require a couple of weeks if you are able to find all the employees and try to give them the physical SIM card. And it will probably take 1 month in order to switch from a traditional operator to a new one. While with embedded SIM, you will be able just to download the subscription in their mobile phones, and they are going just to swap that automatically. So we are moving from month to minutes. So it's a real different user experience. If we go to the consumer market, again, the consumer market, traditional customers want to swap from one operator to another operator. You need just to, even if it's going to apply for mobile number portability, you need to get a new piece of plastic today in the traditional environment in order to get the new subscription. That's not true anymore with the embedded SIMs, so it's going just to apply for mobile number portability, and we'll be able just to get a new subscription from the new operator directly in his mobile phone. So it's a way just to simplify the customer journey in a real easy way. And you can probably think about also additional marketing campaigns. So you can find the QR code on a Coke bottle, and you can just try, if you are going to attend the championship final, and you want just to try the subscription on the operator for 1 month, you can try and get it directly from this kind of advertisement tool. So these are the ways you are able just to achieve the flexibility of managing subscription in a dynamic way. So, as I mentioned also by the previous period, the SIM became a real digital accelerator, transforming the traditional business in a new one. So, what are the success factors? I was mentioning the machine-to-machine market. Of course, for the B2B environment, it's quite easy to manage a subscription during all the life cycle. For consumer electronics, that's a new environment we are going to discover, especially when we are going to approach now with the 5G deployment. We are going to discover that additional devices, not only wearables, not only tablets, not only PC, but additional devices like glasses or consumer electronic devices are going to be enabled with connectivity. And so in this case also the eSIM is going to provide a great feature in order to provide this kind of connectivity. So that's the main impact on the different markets. And so the Esimgroup in this kind of digital transformation is going to be an opportunity for operators who are going just to reduce the cost of logistics and management, but on the other side, needs also to think about subscription management in a digital way. That's a completely different approach compared to the way of doing our business. I had the pleasure to define for TIM more than 26 years ago the traditional deployment process for logistics of SIM card. When we came back after 26 years and trying to introduce the eSIM, that was a nightmare. Nobody was having any more evidence for what were the original processes in the company. We had to transform everything from scratch. That was the easiest way to introduce eSIM. And so that's our experience is going to demonstrate that we were able to have a full digital transformation, just regraphing all the processes. I'm coming back to the total digital experience that is not achievable in all countries, because in some countries there are some obligations from a regulatory point of view which oblige operators to identify the end user before issuing a subscription. That's almost common in many countries in Europe. It's not true in the UK, but in this case, if you want to deploy a new subscription, you need to identify the end user. So that's a part of how we used to call a semi-digital activation process. So in this case, you need to identify your customer, and then you can issue a subscription. There could be also applications, as we have seen also in the previous presentation, so you can able to manage the subscription request from the operator directly through your mobile phone, or you can support the end user through your customer care, through the remote profile management. And it's important also to combine this feature with the additional technical feature as the one bill. I mean, the opportunity to have the same number of different devices that imply a network capability functions, and it implies that you are going to use the same subscription, even if it's different from the technical point of view, but it's referring to the same number on the different devices. So what does digitization mean? It means a completely different process. So first of all, you need to educate your customer. You need just to adopt a sort of harmonized legislation. It's not possible if I go to UK, I get a free subscription, and then I come to Italy, I'm a terrorist, and I can put this in a bomb, and nobody knows who is going to use it. So that we need to have achieved this kind of harmonized legislation. We need to have processes that are trusted. I mean, if somebody is going just to break his mobile phone, you need to repair and refurbish it. So you need to trust that the person who is going to manage your broken device is not going to steal data from your device, because you need to remind that in your device there is also your subscription. And there is subscription plus applications plus data. So in this case, you need to put in place a process where you are going to guarantee the trust of the entire refurbishment or entire repayment process for your end user, in order to avoid that it's going to be compromised. And of course, you have the opportunity to implement digital commerce through website or through app and so on. So it's going to be part of the digital transformation. But the question, as I told in my joke before, are we ready in order to achieve this kind of process within our organization as a network operator? I mean, so users are today referring to the internet experience, and internet experience means that means if you are going just to get 1 second of delay, you are going to lose a lot of revenues, you are going to lose trust, you are going to lose customer satisfaction. That's the digital environment. And if you want to achieve the same behavior for a SIM management, what should we do in our environment as a network operator? So first of all, we need just to guarantee the profile portability. We need to manage the device repairment, the digital provisioning versus physical shop, and it means also to manage the different LPA behaviors. Today, if you want to use an Apple phone or Samsung phone, you have a completely different end user experience, because the LPA designed by the two manufacturers is completely different. That's a way for them to differentiate each other, but it's a complication. If you want to explain to your customer how to use any SIM, you need to have different tutorials for each kind of product. And that's a nightmare. But so if you want to compress, and you want just to achieve customer satisfaction, if you want just to provide a seamless and fast provisioning process, you need to squeeze all the constraints you have on the left side and trying just to maximize the revenues and the satisfaction from your customer. So that means that you need just to reinvent and you establish from scratch your traditional internal processes. And there is, as I was mentioning before, an opportunity to combine these new technology that's Esim also with the introduction of 5G, especially for all kind of new products which are taking benefit of 5G features like low latency, or many of the new consumer electronic devices are going to take benefits from these features, but they could also take benefit from the eSIM technology. So in this case, there is a combination of two new technologies that combined together are coming on the market and are going to offer the opportunity to the end users to switch to a new completely paradigm. And so in this case, it's a combined benefit that we are going to see on the market when we are going to introduce these new technologies. So the eSIM it could be also a 5G enabler, but we need to keep in mind that the basic components which are in the SIM and traditional SIM anyway. So first of all, is a secure storage platform. It could be a multi-application platform. It's a trusted environment at the end. So the end user is going to be able to store in his personal SIM or eSIM profile all the information that could be personally relevant, and it will be able just to maintain those information trusted in this kind of environment. So these are just the basic functions that are common to the SIM since 1992 when we started deploying this technology on the market. But today it's still more important to have it in embedded devices. So, and we are thinking about, if you are aware about the SAM initiative within the Gsma, so that means secure application management. In this case, they are referring again to the eSIM technology in order to manage security data for applications that are outside of the SIM environment but are inside the handset environment. So in this case, we can leverage on that, and we can leverage also on the crypto functions of the eSIM, especially for the IoT applications. If you want to achieve an end-to-end communication security, you can refer to the IoT Safe product. In this case, you will be able to take again benefit from the eSIM. So eSIM is a valuable core element. We can refer to that, and we can probably enlarge the scope of using applications related to that thanks to the eSIM technology. So concluding, we started from complexity. That was the nightmare picture I was showing you before at the beginning. But we can probably try to get the real benefits of this digital opportunity. It means that the deployment of the new mechanism of profile management, both for the different markets that can be consumer, machine to machine, or IoT, requires a real new mindset on the operator side. It means you need to rethink about all your internal processes. You need to adopt a digital approach that could be e-commerce, that could be customer management, that could be post-sale management, in order to get this kind of digital journey for the end user completely, not a nightmare, but it's going to be a nice experience. So in the increase on the other side, we are going to get the increasing opportunities of using connectivity in different devices in adjacent markets, like consumer electronics, wearables, and so on, which up to now were not taking this kind of benefit due to the dimension of the traditional SIM card that was too big to be introduced in a small device. On the other side, we are going just to increase the opportunity to use this technology in an IoT environment. I'm thinking about the automotive. In a couple of years, no vehicle will be without connectivity, and it will be easier just for the end user to get both traditional automotive service plus personal service combined on the same device within the same vehicle, and they are going to be charged in a different way according to the different contracts you are going to manage with the car vendor or with your normal network operator subscriber. So in this case, it's a way just to accelerate the deployment of connectivity through different devices and trying to get more connected devices altogether. And finally, the last recommendation for my friends, operators, is just to be quite careful deploying this technology today on the market, because if you are going to deploy that in the wrong way, you are going to get a boomerang. So customers are going to ignore it, or probably are going to react and don't want to accept this kind of new technology. So you need to educate the market and trying to guide your customer adopting, understanding the benefit of the SIM. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare. So with that, I'm probably going to conclude my presentation. Thanks too much to everybody for your attention. If you have any questions.
So this is a good segue. So we can have a break right now until 12 noon. So we have 20 minutes. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions for the speaker so far, please feel free to jump in. Thank you very much. Great presentation.